faculty of the University of the Bahamas, administrators, the University of the Bahamas, of the Administrative Council, academic deans, and platform guests, members of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Sharice Ferguson, Spring 2019 Commencement Speaker, Dr. Jonathan Rogers, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Linda Davis, Provost, University of the Bahamas, Mr. Wendell Sands, Mace Bearer, Dr. Rodney Smith, President, University of the Bahamas. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing and join in the singing of the national anthem led by Miss Tonique Brown and Mr. Christian Hepburn. After the singing of the national anthem, please remain standing for the singing of the alma mater, followed by the invocation by Dr. Walteria Tucker Rowe.
March on to glory, abide as we
like palm trees tall upon this land, falls called Bahamas. The future meets before us like endless sea and sand. We'll chart a course with alma mater, proudly we will stand. A beacon for these islands, embraced in shallow seas. UB will lift our spirits high for all the world to see. With hands and hearts together, we'll be a guiding light. We live to praise our alma mater, beneath the clear blue skies. We live to raise our alma mater's banner, waving high.
Oremos. Let us pray. Padre, en el nombre de Jesús, te damos gracias por traernos a este día. Father, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for bringing us to this day. Tu palabra nos dice, vale más terminar algo que empezarlo. Vale más la paciencia que el orgullo. Your word tells us that finishing something is worth more than beginning it. So we thank you for giving us the grace to have finished. Your word declares that you are not the God who brings us to the birth without giving us the strength to bring forth. We recognize that it was your grace and your strength that had brought us thus far. You are both the beginning and the end of all things. So we say to you, Alpha y Omega, be Lord over this commencement today. We ask your blessing upon our celebrations today. Fill our time together with your peace and with your joy. Thank you for guiding our graduands into this, their nuevo comienzo, or their new beginning. May they never allow the limits of other people to become their limits. Que jamás dejen que los límites de otras personas sean sus límites. Let all be done today to the glory and praise of your name and to the honor of this, our nation, and our beloved institution. En el nombre de Jesús, in Jesus' name, we pray. Amen.
Please be seated. Honorable Jeffrey Lloyd, Minister of Education, Senator Jennifer Isaacs-Dotson, Ambassador Dr. Kenya Ward, Dr. Jonathan Rogers, Chair, Board of Trustees, other members of the Board of Trustees, Dr. Linda Davis, Provost, other members of the Administrative Council, Dr. Sharice Ferguson, our commencement speaker, Bishop Neil C. Ellis, Hall of Fame alumnus, Madam First Lady of the University, Dr. Christina C. Smith, distinguished guests, parents, family and friends, faculty, staff, and graduates. Good afternoon. It is an honor to welcome you to the 2019 commencement of the University of the Bahamas. I am indeed grateful
I am indeed grateful that we have successfully come to the end of another academic year. And now we recognize the graduating class as they leave UB to use their many skills and talents in forging new careers or to further their education. I would like for us to pause for a moment and remember those students, members of faculty and staff that we lost this academic year. Sophomore Ratanyan Leary, Law and Criminal Justice major. Sophomore John Ferguson, Culinary Arts major. First-year student Bernard Saunders, Secondary Education, Physical Education major. Ms. Brenda Bain, Assistant Professor, Education and Social Studies at UB North. Mrs. Judy Roll, Chief Librarian, and Mr. Omar Morris, Office of Information Technology at UB North. May they rest in peace. Thank you. This evening, over 600 students are graduating from the University of the Bahamas. You are the men and women representing the next generation of nation builders, innovators, activists. In fact, many of you are already fulfilling these roles. Earlier this month, Ms. Esranda Bodie, candidate for the Bachelor of Law degree, was featured on ZNS, highlighting her activism as a lupus warrior, as she encouraged people to become more knowledgeable about the autoimmune disease. Benjamin Davis, candidate for the Bachelor of Business Administration and Management and an Associate of Arts in Music, successfully received grant funding, equity investment, and 2 offers for favorable loans from Bahamian commercial banks to fund his dream. Drive Green Rentals, an electric car rental company. Graduates, you are the community leaders and the activists. You are the innovators and the gatekeepers of our arts, history, and culture. I encourage you to seek opportunities to be of service to others, to volunteer, to make a contribution, to share your time and your talents. You will grow and become more effective leaders by strengthening the quality of your character through service to others and to your country. Congratulations again on all of your achievements. I know you will make your alma mater proud. I would now like to introduce our commencement speaker, Dr. Sharice Ferguson. Dr. Ferguson is a board-certified neurosurgeon who specializes in primary and metastatic brain tumors at the University of Texas MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston, Texas. Sharice was born in Nassau to Dr. Sparkman Ferguson and Mrs. Dawn Ferguson. Dr. Ferguson earned her bachelor's degree in biology from the University of Virginia, her Master of Liberal Arts degree from the University of Pennsylvania, and her medical degree from the University of Chicago, Pritzker School of Medicine. Dr. Ferguson also completed her neurosurgery residency and a research fellowship at University of Chicago before traveling to Texas for a clinical fellowship in neurosurgical oncology at MD Anderson Cancer Center, the #1 ranked hospital for cancer care in the United States. Dr. Ferguson joined the faculty at MD Anderson as an assistant professor of neurosurgery in 2013. She specializes in surgery for complex brain tumors, awake brain tumors, brain surgery, and brain metastasis. She is currently the neurosurgical collaborator for 2 ongoing clinical trials on melanoma metastatic disease. She loves biking, sci-fi movies, hanging out with her 4-year-old son, Jacob David, and, of course, a good Bahamian eating crack conch. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming Dr. Sharice Ferguson to the podium.
good afternoon, and congratulations to the University of the Bahamas graduating class of 2019. You guys are so done. Thank you to the university president, the provost, faculty, and staff for inviting me to speak today and for that very generous and kind introduction. I realize now that it might be a bad time to bring this up, but I have never actually given a real speech. It's awkward to bring it up now, but I have never given a speech that wasn't about surgery, science, and definitely not one without PowerPoint presentation slides. With that in mind, in preparation for this, I did what any diligent scientific mind would do. I consulted two well-known, rigorous, and reliable resources, Google and YouTube, to search for tips on how to write a speech. I watched multiple commencement speeches given by famous people over the years. Unfortunately, I immediately realized that I am not a comedian like Conan O'Brien or Ellen DeGeneres. I'm not a billionaire like Oprah Winfrey, and I'm not anywhere as cool in any way as Michelle Obama. It's just me, so that's already a big hurdle. They also advise, unless you are a politician trying to raise money, your speech should be short. So I'm going to speak for a glorious 13 minutes so you can get your diploma and get on to your parties. You're welcome. You're welcome. Also in my research, a common theme is to talk about something that you know. So I carefully considered what I actually do know that is helpful. I know about brain surgery. I know how to potty train a toddler. I always know what's new on Netflix. I know everything about Game of Thrones. And I always know who's going to win Boxing Day Junkanoo. I don't know how I know, it's a gift. But I do know they need to make me a judge already. Then I realized something relevant that I do know that I can actually share with you. Something that I'm truly an expert in. And it's haters. Right now you were thinking you heard me wrong, but you didn't. I'm an expert in identifying, negotiating, and managing haters. They're a real phenomenon. In fact, the Urban Dictionary defines a hater as a person that simply cannot be happy for another person's success. It's not jealousy. They don't want to be the person that they're hating. They just want to knock you down a notch. That's deep. Now, you are a bunch of very smart men and women. You didn't have to seek out a university education. You're obviously all very ambitious with aspirations you were trying to achieve, things you were trying to get done so you can live your best life. If you haven't had to deal with haters yet, now that you're a university graduate and trying to move up in the world, they are coming. And you know they're gonna hate. I can actually already hear them. It starts something benign, something like this. Now that he done graduate, when I see him, he don't even speak no more. He forgot where he came from. Now that she got her little degree from University of the Bahamas, she think she cute. And it only escalates from there. On your job, maybe a distant family member, maybe a frenemy. Haters will try to sneak in to wear you down, to insert seeds of doubt, to chip at your well-earned confidence and make you feel like you are not worthy. I'm here to tell you today that that is all garbage. That goal you have that might be a little too much or too ambitious, that dream that you're embarrassed to admit because it might be a little too big, I'm telling you, you can have it. It's probably all more attainable than you probably think. Success is right there to grab if you're not derailed by your haters and have the courage to take it. And it does sometimes take a lot of courage to take the path of most resistance. You might be saying to yourself, what do I know about it? I'm up here giving a speech, so I must be fancy, right? Not so, not at all. I promise you, I'm just a regular person. Maybe not that much different from many of you. I grew up right here in Nassau, right out east. I went to a great high school, I went to a great college, but I was not valedictorian of anything. I didn't win any subject prizes in high school. During my introduction, they said all these nice things about me, about medical school and being a neurosurgeon. But what it doesn't say is that I did terrible the first time I took my SATs. I got a C+ in Intro to College Calculus. I didn't get into the medical school of my choice the first time I applied. So my record is far from perfect, and I definitely did not do everything right. And I'm sharing this with you today so you know that even with my mishaps and mistakes, I still managed to get up on the stage and speak to you today. All that matters is that you learn from your disappointments, rally, and push yourself forward. And even if it gets bumpy, you can knuckle down, dig in, and smooth out that path to success at any time. I can tell you, when I personally knuckled down and fixed my mind to going to medical school and pursuing neurosurgery, of all things, which is a notoriously male-dominated field, I had my fair share of haters. I've heard it all, and I've seen every skeptical face at multiple turns. At every layer of upward movement, from medical school to my residency to actually still now, there's always somebody who can't wait to tell me something is unrealistic, too difficult, or out of my league. True story. When I was a medical student interviewing for a neurosurgery residency, the neurosurgery guy interviewing me asked me, if you are accepted into this demanding neurosurgery program, who's going to take care of your children? And I was like, what children? I didn't even have any children. I was being shamed in advance for being a bad mom to kids that didn't even exist. There's always someone who can't wait to remind me that there are no black women in neurosurgery, like I didn't notice. And my response is, well, I guess I'm right in time then. Might as well bring it. The bottom line is, you just have to believe that you can do anything. There is no can't. Start internalizing that notion right now. You cannot be contained. You may be thinking, why me? Well, why not you? Former President Barack Obama put it perfectly when he said, don't just get involved. Fight for your seat at the table. Better yet, fight to be at the head of the table. And it will be a fight sometimes. She didn't know this before I wrote this speech, but the highest compliment I've ever received was actually from my mother. When I was going through personal tough times, she said to me, Sharice, I know right now you were struggling, but I never worry about you. You will always be okay because you are a warrior. And I don't share this story with you so my mom can say I talked about her on graduation day, but she will. But I tell you this to show you what it takes. Anything worth having has been fought for. Give others no choice but to acknowledge your brilliance, your potential, and your gifts. And if you are willing to steel yourself to the work that needs to be done, remain positive and unwavering in your determination, there is very little, if anything, that is out of your reach. I promise you this is true. It's more straightforward than people make it seem. Just wake up every day and kill it. Whatever you're doing, big or small, doesn't matter, you just slay. And every few months, reevaluate yourself, what you're doing, where you're going, and do just 1% more. Now, 1% doesn't sound like much, but it adds up over a lifetime. And while you're doing this, you must recognize and manage your haters who are going to try to dim that light. Don't give your haters the satisfaction of screwing it up or squandering opportunities, because they are just dying to say, I told you so. Do not give them that chance. Take that hater energy, turn it around, and use it to push yourself forward, because the sweetest revenge is success. Last true story. When I was an undergraduate student, I was shadowing at a hospital, as all aspiring medical students do. I was in a mentorship meeting with a well-known physician. When he asked what field I was potentially interested in, I said surgery. And he told me, oh no, surgery is a man's field. And that statement burned a hole in my brain for years. I could not let it go, and it made me want to be a surgeon even more. In retrospect, I should thank that hater, because without him, I certainly wouldn't have come this far, and I would not be up here talking to you today. So according to my Google research on speech writing, I am supposed to end with an inspirational story. I do have a tale which hope gives you just a little perspective. So very late one night several years ago, I was upset about something. I don't remember the details of what it was really, something along the lines of me being angry about how life is unfair, or that person or this person cheated me. In that moment, I happened to come across a CNN documentary called Crossing Yemen. And it was about an ancient path going from Ethiopia across the Red Sea to the Middle East, specifically Saudi Arabia. And it is apparently the most dangerous path in the world to travel because people are routinely killed and kidnapped on this journey. Every month, thousands of Ethiopians attempt to make this journey. They trudge hundreds of miles through rough terrain. They get in a little boat to cross the Red Sea, and then they have to navigate through war-torn country of Yemen to get to what they believe is a better place, which in their case is Saudi Arabia, which frankly didn't sound like paradise. Now, I never watched the news, so in that moment, I had no doubt I had stumbled onto this documentary for a reason, that it was speaking to me. And after I watched it, I felt very stupid. When you see real struggle, it makes your issues seem trivial. It strips away all of your excuses. If thousands of Ethiopians can risk murder and starvation for a better life, what could I possibly have to complain about? And you also realize that it is my duty, your duty, our duty, to make the most of any grace we have been given. Take it and push it to its maximal potential to make a difference in your small corner of the world. I do this, and class of 2019, I encourage you. In fact, I challenge you to do the same, especially because so many won't get that chance. You have this chance. I think you can, and I know you will. It has been the highlight of my career to speak with you today. The honor is truly mine. Thank you for having me, and good luck.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Minister of Foreign Affairs, Darren Henfield, and the Minister for State for Legal Affairs, Ellsworth Johnson. Welcome. I now invite Mr. Reno Miller, President of the Alumni Association and Alumni Trustee, to the podium.
Members of the Spring 2019 graduating class, it is with great pleasure that I induct each of you into the University of the Bahamas Alumni Association. On behalf of the more than 14,000 graduates of this great institution, and on behalf of the Alumni Association's Executive Board, I wish you the very best. Graduating class of 2019, please stand. By the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I am pleased to induct you into the membership of the University of the Bahamas Alumni Association with all of the rights and privileges thereof. You may now join those who have gone before you and call the University of the Bahamas alma mater.
Please be seated. Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure now to call Mr. Juchale Richard, our Spring 2019 student speaker and one of the recipients of the Governor General's Award, to give reflections.
Good evening. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the other two Governors General recipient, Ms. Devonia Grant, who will be walking at our UB North campus, and Mr. Jared Simonet. I am honored to share this achievement with them. I remember when I first came to the Bahamas with very little knowledge of the land, the language, the people, or the culture. However, what I did possess was a determination to be great, a lust for a life that will not let me settle for the person I was, but who I could become, a neurosurgeon. So each day I pursued my goal until soon I could say common Bahamian terms like mother sick or I ain't gonna lie, right? Just like a Bahamian. Today, I am one step closer to that goal, thanks to God, my family, friends, and the many educators I have met along the way. Ernest Hemingway once says, "There is none noble in being superior to your fellow men. True nobility lies in being superior to your former self." Taking a look back to our freshman year, we were all so eager, so open, and impressionable. We all knew exactly who we wanted to be and what we wanted to do with our lives. However, I think that I speak for most of you when I say that everything has changed. These changes have shaped us along the way. To use an Avengers analogy, we have had to acquire 6 different Infinity Stones throughout this journey, which would all be activated today. These 6 stones are time, reality, mind, power, space, and soul. Time. While we do not possess the ability to time travel or be omnipresent, we now have the power of time management. We have been forced to use our time as wisely and efficiently as possible. I don't know if you guys are experiencing this yet. You are home, sitting down, relaxing, and all of a sudden you start panicking because you're thinking about this assignment that you have due or you have to turn in. Reality, shaping our future despite the background that we've come from. On this pathway to success, our reality is in our hand, and in that we have the ability to change the world's reality. This journey has put us all in control of our fate, and what we choose to do with it is our choice. For us, we are on the right path to making our reality a great one. Mind. Our minds and our mental health have stood the test of time. To be able to graduate with our sanity intact, I repeat, to be able to graduate with our sanity intact tells you that we've acquired the Mind Stone. We also had to become very well acquainted with many persons on this journey, example, our lecturers and our group members. Power. True power comes from unity and the support of our friends and family. We've all heard the saying, there is strength in numbers. With this power stone, we have strength, endurance, and immunity. With our education, we are unstoppable. And having gone through such a tough fight and come out victorious, we are all powerful. Space. This entire time we've been finding out where we belong in the world or our niche. With the space stone, we will not lose our place of belonging. We can also create warm roles with this stone to seek out ourselves at different times and places, to remember who we once were, and to make sure that we are becoming better every day. So, our character, how we've changed throughout the years, and the people we've become. as a result of coming to university and our experiences while there. The Soul Stone has altered our souls along with the others to make us better men and women. I'm proud of this journey because it has taught us character and integrity, and without it, who knows where we would have been. So with these 6 stones, we can now snap and become rulers of the universe. I'm not telling anyone to go there and try to cut the world population in half. But however, here in our hands lie the possibility we've created are endless. Today we stand capable of anything and everything in this world. Engineers, physicists, mathematicians, biochemists, SIS specialists, businessmen, psychologists, teachers, nurses, artists, and more. With these 6 stones, we can snap the education system back into place and change our national average for the better. We can snap back fathers into the future generation home. We can snap back love and put an end to all the senseless killing. We can snap into place opportunity for the brilliant scholars and athletes of this nation. Unlike Thanos or Tony Snap, the changes will not happen instantly, but eventually they will. Once all of us are willing to do whatever it takes. So I please ask that you, my fellow graduate, please help me perform this last powerful snap while thinking of that change that you plan on fulfilling, whether it is in our country or globally. So on the count of 3, I please ask that you may please raise your infinity gauntlet with me and snap while thinking of that change that you plan to go there and make. So on the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, snap. Because we are in the end game now. Thank you.
Will all the candidates for certificates or diplomas please stand? Will all candidates for certificates or diplomas please stand? Diploma in Education, TCN. Hello. Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for certificates or diplomas.
Stand and remain standing. Okay, so some people are clapping.
Congratulations, please be seated. Will all the candidates for the degree of Associate of Arts please stand and remain standing? Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting the candidates for the degree of Associate of Arts.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, and in recognition of your attainment in completing the program of study prescribed by the university, I confer upon each of you the degree of Associate of Arts with all of the rights, duties, immunities, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. You may now don your hoods. Please be seated.
Will all the candidates for the degree Associate of Science please stand and remain standing? Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Associate of Science.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, and in recognition of your attainment in completing the program of study prescribed by the university, I confer upon each of you the degree of Associate of Science with all of the rights, duties, immunities, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. You may now don your hoods. Please be seated.
Will all the candidates for the degree of Associate of Applied Science please stand and remain standing? Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you the candidates for the degree of Associate of Applied Science.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, and in recognition of your attainment in completing the program of study prescribed by the university, I confer upon each of you the degree of Associate of Applied Science with all of the rights, duties, immunities, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. You may now don your hoods. You may now be seated.
Will all the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts please stand and remain standing? Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Arts.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, and in recognition of your attainment in completing the program of study prescribed by the university, I confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Arts with all of the rights, duties, immunities, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. You may now don your hoods. Please be seated.
Will all the candidates for the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration please stand and remain standing? Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Business Administration.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, and in recognition of your attainments in completing the program of study prescribed by the university, I confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration with all of the rights, duties, immunities, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. You may now don your hoods. You may now be seated.
Will all the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Education please stand and remain standing? Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Education.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, and in recognition of your attainments in completing the program of study prescribed by the university, I confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Education with all of the rights, duties, immunities, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. You may now don your hoods. You may now be seated.
Will all the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Laws please stand and remain standing? Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Laws.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and in recognition of your attainments in completing the program of study prescribed by the university, I confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Laws with all of the rights, duties, immunities, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. You may now don your hoods.
Will all the candidates for the degree...
Please be seated.
Will all the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science, including nursing, please stand and remain standing? Mr. President, I have the honor of presenting to you the candidates for the degree Bachelor of Science.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees and in recognition of your attainments in completing the program of study prescribed by the university, I confer upon each of you the degree of Bachelor of Science with all of the rights, duties, immunities, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto appertaining. You may now don your hoods. Please be seated. Will all of the graduates of the spring 2019 graduating class of the University of the Bahamas please stand and remain standing? You may now turn your tassels to the left. Please be seated.
It is my pleasure to present the graduates from Education and the Social Sciences, including students graduating from the University of the Bahamas' Bachelor of Laws degree program.
Tina Strawn. Tiffany Turnquest. Stanley North. Micheline Cervelli. Letitia Strawn. Christovia Sweeting. Kever Kemp. Trevane Watson. Tyra Adderley. Clemile Roll. Clevanche Lightborn. Sydney Sawyer. Serena Ramacola. Andrea Pacenti. Ketura Hyla. India Ambrister. Marcia Timothy. Aaliyah Brown. Vernay Knight. Alexis Francis. John Monpetit. Giovanni Cartwright. Esther Louis. Jatalia MacDonald. Mary Cartwright. Ramon Dames. Justin Monroe. Taniqua McPhee Thompson. Ashvon Russell. Savannah Hall. Monique Clark. Marcia Thomas. Abigail Passard. Dante Albury. Matteo Barry. Vashon Ambrister. LaRon Taylor. Randy Wright. Christoph Wood. Harold Roma. Kevon Farquharson. Sharika Collins. Brittany Russell. Roshanda Thompson. Jaja Smith. Cheyenne Bullard. Nana Leary. Naria Leary. Kaja Meadows. Branica Anderson. Fellaine Sargent. Maya Smith. Atia Flowers. Michaela Butler Capron. Vanessa McBride. Erin Stubbs. Crystal Ham. Javonia Brown. Lyndon Sands. Kristen Carey. Hannah Bethel. Michelle Willie. Courtney Newbold. Christophe DeVoe. Anya Pess. Alicia Moss. Sandra Horton. Sky Strawn. Michelet Sands. Ebony Claire. Landia Russell. Blake Fox. Jasmine Clark. Megan Bullard. Shaquelle Ward. Cordidra Roll. Javanti Store. Ashley Ombla. Oprel Taylor. Rashad Ritchie. Atalia Hannah. Shakira Johnson. Kami Kelman. Wellington Albury. Wendira King.
Brittany Strawn. Esranda Bodie. Ezranda. Kashina Thompson. Rondika Strawn. Kevin Johnson. Rayvan Johnson. LaShawn Martin. Elsha McPhee. Tamika Thompson. Lenique Murphy. Zandrel Bain. Tanisha Forbes. Ashley Dorset. Thaddeus Saunders. Tamika Gibson. Monique Turnquest. Skylar DeVoe. Tennille Bain. Erin Adderley. Riche Newbold. Kimbray Bethel. Kasia Davis. Samantha Clark. Delano Horton. Valentino Bow. Sashay Duncan. Hercule Estime. Kieron Davis. Kaylin McCartney. Felicia Cooper. Precious Johnson. Shama Johnson. Angel Johnson. Candice Collect. Romulus Brown. Christian Johnson. Dalia Roll. Nakisha Sands. Victoria Dames Carroll. Danielle Capron. Santinio Coakley. Sydney Thompson. Tanae Roll. Tyler Demerit. Wenishka Roll. Shama Seymour. Latrine Sims. Jeremy King. Bianca Cartwright. Cicely Stubbs. Charsony Pandy. Jerquel Pinder. Rashonda McCarty. Keitra Roll. Gabrielle Pryfram. Bria Ferguson. Anthony Williams. Krista Musgrove. Natira Stirrup. Dwayne Mackey. Waukesha Smith. Shaquana Mackenzie.
Testing. It is my pleasure to present the graduates from Communication and Creative Arts and English Studies.
Kevonia Bain. Lorne Culmer. Vandria Lockhart. Vondria Lockhart. Antonia Nottage. Jade Cooper. Morgan Hannah. Nicole March. Amani Hepburn. Kevon King. Joshua Robbins. Jayondra Johnson. Bethany McDermott. Anisha Jones. Lauren Seymour. Laurencia Smith. Leah Cooper. Kenton Hepburn. Leandra Rowe. Annelle Mackenzie. Jade Bethel.
Graduates, please be seated. It is my pleasure to present the graduates from Chemistry, Environmental, and Life Sciences, Mathematics, Physics, and Technology, and nursing and allied health professions.
Byron Jones. Dutchley Richard. Damari Williams. Patikwa Cooper. Melanie Thompson. Luciano Pierce. Tajay Butler. Sheldon Pearson Jr. Jade Ferguson. Tonike Mackey. Olympia Kelly. Gabrielle Ferguson. Garthia Roberts. Diane Dorset. Ashley Moss. Micaiah Swaby. Nastasia Hepburn. Ravan Humes. Christina Nornormi. Christina Nonorm. Andia Gibson. Shaquan Cooper. Ledasquanique Nixon. DiMaggio Marie. Deja Brown. Cristal Delivo. Francesca Rahming. Anishka Morris. Trevon Major. Desiree Taylor. Lynette Cooper. Danielle Cartwright. Sharita Sweeting. Shantia Sweeting. Leander Gardner. Amber Ford. Christiane Roll. Shanae Bastian. McCalton Demerit. Davia Nesbitt. Pedronique Saunders. Kalia Carnegie. Faith Bascom. Gailey Joseph. Burnett Smith. Dwaynell Stevens. Shanika Ferguson. Arnisha Bolag. Gordon Levia. Devard Bain. Conrad Davis. Bijan Stubbs. Theron Johnson. Peter Russell. Denatosh Lightborn. Elton Simonet. O'Neill Dames. Avado Brown. David Wims. Kobe Ferguson. Onassis Nottage. Giovanni Cartwright. Wayne McKenzie. Mario McKay. Desmondo Bootle. George Jones. Natasha Patton. Christian Wright. Delexio Dames. Riche Richards. Cade Darling. Ethan McKenzie. Rashad Ingraham. Shanique Cooper. Deandra Newton Hepburn. Tiandra Ferguson. Bryesha Smith. Petra Ferguson. Angelique Williams. Jonaya Gardner. Guyana Coakley. Garniqua Gibson. Londira Bain. Aria Morley. Kimberly Haley. Oriel Sampson. Imogwa Imogwan. Orisha Saunders. Micah Johnson. Myra Jones. LaShawn Bevins. Michaela Kelly. Shakantra Johnson. Javari Roll. Judy Sands. Rashay Lewis. Nicole Sawyer. Kaylisha LaFrance. Tavanya Russell. Onika Downer Brown. Altanika Ferguson. Angel Carey. Tiffany Darling. Katisha Leary. Nikita McKenzie. Kenisha Lightborn. Daphne Gray. Fourth Lane Joseph Medeas. Daranique Raming. Tamisha Pratt. Dalexia Dames. Phanisha Archer. Dorissa Monroe. Alexandria Andrews Cooper. Natasha Ruffin Dean. Teresa Miller. Brianne Roll. Lissa Dorbier. Veronica Smith. Amanda Joaquin. Michaela Josie. Donovan Curry. Onassis Novak. Carlisa Saunders. Chantel Brown. Waynell Gray. Shanice Williams. Stewardell Miller. Destiny Conliffe. Trevania Bridgewater.
Okay.
You may be seated. Mr. President, it is my pleasure to present the graduates from Business and Culinary Arts and Tourism Studies.
Oshima Cartwright. Terrell Smith. Chad Munnings. Wayne Miller. Daniela Eugene. Marshall Adderley. Deandra Pinder. Latia Forbes. Ian Williams. Alicia Brown. Alicia Turnquest. No Alicia Turnquest. Ashaya Bria. Asia Bryce. Tyrone Pratt. Jaleesa Russell. Christina Anton. Jeremiah Taylor. Kamisha Mizik. Letitia Adderley. Shanice Brown. Wyona Nichols. Wantero Miller. Darnell Kemp. Kervon Butler. Chanel Surratt. Marvin Brown. Donella Newbold. Lavelle Watson. Onisha Adderley. Aja Lord. Judith Mackenzie. Takoya Campbell. Takia Johnson. Zalika Turnquest. Lyric Anderson. Cassia Minnis.
Arkeel Roll. Darnisha Ferguson. Benjamin Davis. Lori Major. Rashay Barton. Van Johnson. Orthnell Dames. Sine Ferguson. Jared Simonet. Bernique Bowe. Antonia Miller. Shavano Colley. Lachey Hepburn. DeLauren Ferguson. Samantha Saunders. Chantel Felion Mackey. Valeska Russell Riley. Frederick Stewart. Jamie Gardner. Lauren Todd. Alicia Knowles. Dominique Hall. Garnisha Lewis. Arnisha Frazier. Ashley Seymour. Valtanique Tufi. Ashante Gardner. Listranique Moss. Letitia Pratt. Natalie Atkins. David Daxon Jr. Camille Duncombe. Olivia Nairn. Deandra Minnis. Kathira Thompson. Raquel Oliver. Zoe Takarik. Heather Ritchie. Marciano Darling. Shalise Strawn. Gia Clark. Alexi Roll. Melissa Bethel. Alexis McPhee. Devano Dean. Ariel Morris. Quaden Saunders. Rafe Emile Ferguson. Sergeant Colby. Paul Butler. Helen Ambrister. Ansonique Monroe. LaShawn Dames. Dialgene Bryce. Kalisha Seymour. Andres Edgecombe. Ajani Campbell. Dominique Smith. Aisha Bain. Tomini Trakin. Jade Sawyer. Jade Johnson. Leanne Darville. Dakota Smith. Whitney Roll. Eugenia Williams. Jamie Emmanuel. Jade Cooper. Mr. Yurik Taran Dean. Lanier Fowler. Tanaz Bevins. Ashley Culmer. Trevette Lewis. Elvanika McLean. Jeremy Roll. Lorianne Bailey Knowles. Tanisha Knowles. Bernavio Knowles.
Quainika Smith, Dahlia McIntosh, Tori Bartlett, Dawn Curry, Shakira Sands, Darius Stubbs Moss, Gabrielle Ferguson, Savannah Monroe, Katusia Johnson, Celia Bethel, Belle Ross, Michael Arole, and Chantel Philippe.
You may be seated.
Next time, should I be so honored to be asked?
Ladies and gentlemen, we have now come to the end of the Spring 2019 Spring 2019 commencement exercise of the University of the Bahamas. I invite you to stand for the academic procession and remain standing until the end of the academic procession.